I'm a special guest on the line, JP Thornton. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about it. So how long have you been playing golf?
Well, I was introduced to the game in 1992 through a inner city youth program known as the Mid South Junior Golf Association. It's based. I'm born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, and they had a pretty much a summer program for inner city youth, and that's how pretty much I got exposed to the game.
Okay, how old were you about?
I was 8 years old.
Wow, so you got started at 8.
Yeah, 7 years old. I was seven. My brother actually started before me in the program, but when I was seven, I wasn't old enough to actually be in the program. You had to be at least eight. So I was actually hanging around, like watching them in the camp, around the chipping greens, just chipping and putting, because you have to be at least 8 years old to play on a golf course. And
Okay.
at that time, and then once I turned eight, then I was pretty much fully exposed to the program, and the, from there, it just kind of just grew a liking for it, and basically I just stuck with it.
Nice, nice. Now how old are you now?
I'm 35.
Okay. Now how was it growing up in Memphis, Tennessee?
Growing up in Memphis is pretty much, right here near the Mississippi Delta, just north of it. Just grew up, it was a lot of, just the city of Memphis. I really didn't get a lot of country club exposure when I was younger. So I really played at a lot of municipal golf courses, pretty much, where I could play it. And, it's pretty much how it was. It was just kind of was on the other side of the tracks for the most part, picking up and learning the game.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now let's talk about your experience with APGA, Advocates Pro Golf Association Tour at the
Yes,
Sugarloaf.
sir.
How did that go
Yes,
for
sir.
you?
It went well. It went well. I got a lot of good preparation in. Honestly, the COVID thing, it was unfortunate that it happened, but actually it was more of a blessing in disguise for me because it kind of enabled me because, with the social distancing thing, a lot of activities have been shut down, and one of those activities that you were still able to do was to play golf. So I was able to pretty much, hone my game and, get a lot of practice in from like, mid-March all the way up until now. So going into the tournament, I felt very, very prepared. I got there a couple of days early so I could, scout the course, trot the course and things of that nature. And for the most part, I just went out and just, I developed a game plan and I just stuck to that plan. And I mean, the first day, I hit a lot of fairways. I drove it really good. I was able to make 7 birdies the first day, and I also had a few bogeys, so just turned into 69 that day. And the second day was pretty much complete opposite. Like, I really didn't drive it well the second day, so I had to really depend on my scrambling ability. So I was able to scramble around the course, and I was pretty much shot the same thing. So it was pretty much two different ball striking days, and I got the same result.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, how's the diversity there as far as now that we're Black Lives Matter and we're in that movement? How is the diversity in golf for you?
It's slowly getting better, I think, but it's always been kind of a barrier. It's always been a barrier in golf. I mean, it's not a secret or anything like that. So, it's with the Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, you can see. I mean, I kind of see some people are just a little bit. I guess you could say friendlier now because of everything that's going on. So they're a little bit more friendlier on the golf course, I guess you could say. But it's always been like a little bit of a barrier there in golf. As far as diversity, I mean, not only just playing golf like competitively, you can see it on TV where you only have right now. I would say 3, maybe 4 people that's actually playing on tour, including Tiger, Harold Varner, Tony Finau, and Joseph Bramlett, and a couple other minorities as well. But it's always been that kind of barrier. I mean, even on the industry side of it, you don't see a lot of African American presence in pro shops and all these other positions outside of just playing golf, because there's so many different industries out here, and like I say, it's really, you just don't see it. So I mean, it goes back to actually being exposed to it, which is the exposure is what really kind of helps you to kind of propel you into the golf industry. So it's just the matter of youth being exposed to the game that could further help it.
Gotcha. Now, what do you think it'd take to get more blacks involved in the sports?
Like I said, it's gonna start kind of grassroots. You got to go to the area where African Americans are. Like, I mean, if you go to pretty much the areas that black people stay at, you know, which is most middle to low class income areas, you won't find a golf course in that area. And also with golf being so expensive, you know, it's really in America it's more of a, you know, like I say, an upper class type sport. So that makes it very difficult to get exposed to it. Whereas with, you know, football, basketball, you know, those things are available to kids in those areas that I just mentioned. But like I say, it's hard to get exposed to the golf industry. So we just have to make it more affordable and more accessible to kids that are in the inner city area or in those middle to low class areas, and you know, provide more opportunities for them to learn like I did. Because like I say, when I was younger, I was just fortunate enough in Memphis. There is a city golf course that's actually located, like I say, in a primarily black area, and that's where I got my start. And then from there, you know, it was people that helped out with that program, which is, like I say, it was the Mid-South Junior Golf Association, that later became the First Tee. And things like that is what you got to really attract more kids to those areas, and you know, kind of open their eye to it. And that's where I think it'll be a greater help for people. And also by seeing people that look like you on TV playing golf, that also inspire kids to want to play golf. You know.
Very good insight. Very good insight. Now, when did you turn professional?
Well, I turned professional 2 years after, like about 1 to 2 years after I got out of college. I played collegiate golf at Texas Southern University, and I had a full golf scholarship there. And after I got out of college, I immediately kind of jumped right into. I really didn't have. I wanted to play professionally, but I never knew what it took to actually play professional golf. So I kind of jumped. I always wanted to be in the golf industry anyway. If I wasn't playing, it could be teaching or, like I say, working in other aspects of the industry. So I got into the professional golf management program with the PGA, and I was a level 2 apprentice, and I got my first start actually teaching at a company called Golf Tech, which is they do like the indoor teaching with like motion measurement analysis and things like that. So I started on the industry side, the teaching side, in 2008. And then from 2008 to 2011, I worked on the industry side, and then I had a kind of a itch to see, you know, if I could actually, you know, play competitive golf. Never really had anyone to inspire me to do it, because, you know, everyone always says you have to be this good, you know, you have to be able to shoot these type of numbers, you know, 65, 66 every time you play. So I started doing my research on it. And I noticed that, you know, like, you know, the scoring average on tours maybe about, I think, for the average score, it's probably about 68 to 69, which is that's manageable every day. So I actually played in my first event on the Advocates Tour. That was in 2011. It was out in Los Angeles at Chester, Washington, and that's where I played my first event. I played pretty well. I ended up actually cashing the check in that first event, and from there I just kept continuing to play on the APGA Tour. Ken Bentley, you know, the CEO of the tour,
Mm-hmm.
he does a great job with you know, gathering partnerships. Like right now, we have a partnership with the PGA Tour, to where we're able to get good venues. Like for instance, playing at TPC Sugarloaf, that's a 5-star golf course. Whereas like we have that relationship going, along with the other relationships he built with Farmers Insurance, and as well as Lexus, who's like our presenting sponsor for the tour. So between, you know, Ken Bentley, Mike Cooper, Adrian Steels, they've done a wonderful job as far as, you know, hosting events and getting us some very good venues to play at.
Nice. Very nice. Do you compete in any other golf tours?
Currently, I play mostly the Monday qualifiers for the Corn Ferry Tour and the PGA Tour, because, you know, that's the ultimate goal, is to get to that tour. So, and also the APGA Tour, they make the tournaments very, very convenient. Whereas, like, you know, it's a 2-day event. So, like, before COVID, you know, I was working. So, in order for me to play tournaments, they have to be scheduled on the weekend or something like that, where I could take off work and be able to go. But like I say, it was very, very convenient. You know, very affordable. And I pretty much played the APGA Tour, and I had a little success in 2011 where I Monday qualified for it was the Nationwide Tour then, which is now the Corn Ferry Tour. I had Monday qualified for that, but there's no other really tours that I play on outside of the APGA Tour. I just do the one-day qualifiers and like the state open qualifiers to get into those events, and I just play the APGA Tour.
Nice. What does it take preparing for competition?
Like I said, it takes a lot of preparation. Like I just live, like my dad always gave me a philosophy that preparation is 90% of your daily routine. So like I said, I spend 90% of my day just basically preparing for the event. I mean, it takes, you got to hit golf balls, of course. A lot of practice. But I mean, I spend a lot of my time primarily just playing a lot of golf, just getting into the rhythm and the momentum of playing on a golf course. Because it's one thing just to sit there and hit balls in the driving range, but you got to be able to take that game to the golf course. So I spend a lot of time playing. I like to play at least 27 holes a day. 27 to 36 holes a day. Like I said, it takes up roughly about 5 or 6 hours of my time. And then I also work out as well. I do a lot of core exercises. Not a lot of bench press or anything like that, because golf is just a different sport. You're using different muscles. So I always try to work out those muscles that, requires your body to perform efficiently when you're playing golf, that's going to be your abs, glutes. So I'm always working on the core, and the back muscles and things of that nature. So I work out 2 times a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, with a lot of core exercises in there. And, I also have to do a lot of stretching, to keep the muscles very, very limber, because, golf takes a lot of twisting and turning, being able to hold angles. So you got to make sure, you got a lot of flexibility and a lot of core strength. So I work on those things, and even with nutrition too, as far as like how my body burns fuel and burns energy. I have to make sure I'm eating low GI foods, things that'll make me burn energy over a course of time. A lot of protein, things like that to recover, to get that endurance in the muscles. So it's pretty much like a lifestyle for the most part.
Gotcha. Coming off your win at TPC Sugarloaf, how did it feel?
It felt great. I mean, it felt wonderful. Like I said, it was humbling as well. Like just seeing all the work you put in and just watching it manifest. It was just a great feeling. It's like you set a goal for yourself, and you hit that goal and you hit that mark. It was just a great feeling. And you just want to continue that feeling and keep doing it. So you just know the work you're putting in, you can see it paying off. So it just motivates you more to continue to do it.
And what do you attribute your win to?
Just preparation, a lot of preparation. Just having that determination. My wife, I call her the boss lady. She always on me, making sure I'm on schedule, making sure I'm doing what I need to do. I give it all to preparation, really, and just, preparation and hard work.
Okay. And as we close out, what advice would you give to a young golfer aspiring to reach your level?
I would say play as many tournaments as you can, because unless you have a really good mentor or someone, ask a lot of questions. Be a sponge. Just try to soak up as much information you can be, because that was the thing with me. Like I always try to refer to myself as a student of the game, which is someone like where I just can grab as much information as I possibly could, because, like I say, the way that I started, in the inner city program, I didn't start off with, like, I guess you could say PGA lessons or anything like that. It wasn't specialized lessons. It was just, the guys that were part of the program, they were just avid golfers who helped out kids. They just taught you what they knew, but not the actual textbook way to swing a golf club. So I would say if they wanted to start off, just make sure when you do start swinging the club that you get some professional instruction to start off, because that could really hurt you as you get a little bit older. Just make sure you start out with the right fundamentals, and it's just really it's pretty much how bad you want it. If you want it bad enough, you will pursue it and keep knocking on doors until one opens for you. And you just got to have that determination. But like I say, I always ask a lot of questions. If you see someone who is the professional and you got questions, just try to pick as many brains as possible, because I've talked to anyone I've had an opportunity to talk to, like PGA professional or anything like that. I'm always asking questions and trying to gather as much information as I can.
Great advice. Any closing thoughts? Any final last words?
Like I say, I'm just I just continue to stick to the process. Like I said, it was a great win. Like I came off those two good weeks. Like the week before that, I qualified for the Texas State Open, and I just took that momentum and went in for the TPC at Sugarloaf tournament, and won that. So I just want to continue to stick to this plan and just stick to the process and just just see what happens in the next event coming up, because the next event is going to be July 9th and the 10th down in St. Augustine in World Golf Village. So I just want to continue to take that momentum, stick to my preparation plan and my process, and just watch the results.
All right. Enjoy yourself. Have a good evening. Thank you, sir.
All right.